Welcome to the Podcast Lab, your go-to space for raw conversations, curious questions, and inspiring stories from around the world. Whether you're here to learn, laugh, or just listen in, this is where ideas take shape and voices come alive. Ready to dive into fresh perspectives and thought-provoking discussions? Let's get started. This is the Podcast Lab. Subscribe now and never miss an episode.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're exploring some incredible real-life survival stories.
Oh yeah, those are always fascinating.
Definitely, and I think they teach us a lot about just what human beings are capable of, resilience and the will to live.
Absolutely, it's more than just luck, right?
Yeah.
It's something deeper.
Right. So today we've got 3 stories that really exemplify this.
Okay, I'm ready.
So first we're going to talk about Aaron Ralston and his experience trapped in a canyon.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and then we'll journey with Julianne Kopec, who survived a plane crash in the Amazon rainforest.
Wow. Okay.
And finally, we'll hear about Jose Salvador Alvarenga, who was lost at sea for over a year.
I mean, the variety of situations here is just amazing.
Yeah, and each one presents its own unique challenges. And the fact that these people survived is just incredible.
It really makes you wonder,
Okay.
what is it that allows some people to survive these impossible situations?
Exactly like what sets them apart. So let's start with Aaron Ralston.
Okay.
So back in 2003, he was on a solo hiking trip in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in this canyon called Blue John Canyon when a boulder shifted and pinned his arm against the canyon wall.
Oh gosh, can't even imagine.
Yeah, just a terrifying situation to be in.
Totally.
And he was trapped there for days with dwindling resources and no way to call for help.
So that's where the mental aspect of survival really comes in, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, just the psychological toll of that situation.
Yeah, he later said that what kept him going was visualizing his family.
Oh, wow.
Like he would picture their faces, their voices, and that gave him the strength to keep going.
That's so powerful.
Yeah, the human mind is amazing.
It really is.
And in his case, it had to be, because what he did next is just unbelievable.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
So realizing that his only option for survival was to escape, he made the agonizing decision to amputate his own arm.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's a multi-tool.
Wow.
I know it's hard to even fathom, but that's the power of the fight-or-flight response.
Right. Our bodies are capable of so much more than we realize.
Yeah, these life-or-death situations, your body just kicks into overdrive.
Like adrenaline pumping, all that.
Yeah, your heart rate, breathing, all of that increases, blood is redirected to your muscles.
Your senses become heightened.
Exactly, and your pain perception decreases. So all of this helps you either fight the threat or escape from it.
It's really remarkable.
Yeah, so Ralston's story is a great example of just how powerful that primal instinct can be.
So now we're going to the Amazon.
We are, yeah. So Julianne Kopec's story is equally amazing.
Okay.
So picture this, 1971, she's on a flight over the Amazon rainforest, and the plane is struck by lightning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it breaks apart in midair.
You're kidding.
And Kopec, who was still strapped to her seat, was ejected from the plane.
Wow.
And she fell from the sky.
I mean, that's just terrifying.
I know, right?
And she survived.
She did. It's unbelievable, right?
That alone is incredible. But then to be in the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah, injured and with no way to contact anyone.
I can't even imagine.
It's like something out of a survival movie.
Totally.
And she had a broken collarbone and other injuries, but she spent 11 days navigating the rainforest.
11 days. Wow.
Yeah, she later said that her knowledge of the rainforest from her parents, who were scientists, actually played a role in her survival.
Oh, that makes sense.
But even with that knowledge, it takes a lot of hope to keep going in that situation.
Yeah, you have to believe that you're going to be found.
Exactly. And it's that hope that keeps you going when everything else seems lost.
It's so powerful.
And it's not like she was just wandering aimlessly. She made the decision to follow a stream.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, knowing that it might lead her to civilization.
Wow, that's thinking clearly under pressure.
Right, even when you're terrified, your mind can still find ways to make rational decisions.
So we've had the mountains, we've had the rainforest now. Where are we going?
Now we're heading out to sea with Jose Salvador Alvarenga.
Okay, bring it on.
This story really takes human endurance to a whole new level. So in 2012, Alvarenga, who was a fisherman, was caught in a storm, and his small boat was pushed way off course.
Oh,
And he ended up adrift in the Pacific Ocean
oh wow.
for 438 days.
Wait a minute, over a year?
Yeah, over a year.
How is that even possible?
I know, it's mind-boggling, just the isolation and the despair of being surrounded by water for that long.
It's hard to even comprehend.
It really is. So what kept him going?
Well, from what I remember, it was all about routine.
Routine.
Yeah, even in that kind of extreme isolation, he established routines for himself.
Makes sense, I guess.
He had to create some kind of order in that chaos, right?
Right.
So he would catch fish and birds, collect rainwater, and ration his supplies.
So he made a plan and stuck to it.
Exactly. And that gave him a sense of control in a situation where he had very little control.
And that structure probably helped him mentally, too.
Absolutely. It's like imposing order on a world that's suddenly become completely disordered.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, in my own life, when things feel chaotic, just making a to-do list helps me feel more grounded.
Right. It's about creating those little pockets of predictability.
But Alvarenga didn't stop at just routines, did he?
No, he went even further than that. Yeah, he understood the importance of celebrating those small victories. You know, every fish he caught, every clear day, every little step forward became a reason to celebrate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's like he knew that holding on to those little bits of joy was essential to keeping his spirits up.
That makes me think of Viktor Frankl's work. You know, the psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah,
He wrote about the importance of finding meaning, even in the midst of suffering.
absolutely.
And it seems like that search for meaning, for something to celebrate, is a theme that comes up a lot in survival stories.
It really does, and it's something we can all apply to our own lives, you know?
Even if you're not quite as dramatic as being lost at sea.
Right, exactly. Because even our everyday challenges can feel overwhelming at times.
Totally. So what can we learn from these survivors? What are the common threads that we can use to help us face our own obstacles?
Well, one thing that really stands out to me is the power of visualization.
Yeah, we saw that with Aaron Ralston.
Right. He used it to fuel his determination and Julianne Kopic's unwavering belief that she would be found that helped her keep going.
So it's not just about pushing through, it's about finding ways to nourish your mind and spirit.
Exactly. And another important element is finding purpose beyond the immediate struggle.
Like Aaron Ralston wanting to get back to his family.
Right. It gave him a reason to fight. He wasn't just focused on staying alive. He had something bigger to strive for.
And that reminds me of Jose Alvarenga and his routines, you know?
Yes. Those daily tasks weren't just about survival. They were about creating order and purpose in a world that felt completely out of control.
So when things are tough, finding ways to create structure and routine can help us feel more grounded.
Right. It can give us a sense of control when the bigger picture feels uncertain.
So we've got hope, purpose, routines. Those are all good strategies for building resilience. But I feel like there's another element here, something even more fundamental.
You're talking about the inherent strength of the human spirit.
Yeah, these people faced unimaginable challenges, yet they found a way to not only survive, but to find moments of joy and gratitude.
Like Jose Alvarenga celebrating catching a fish.
Right, even in that kind of extreme deprivation, he found something to be thankful for.
It's a testament to the incredible strength that lies within us.
And what's even more remarkable is that these weren't extraordinary people. They were ordinary people thrust into extraordinary circumstances.
Exactly. And that's what makes their story so inspiring, you know? It suggests that this capacity for resilience exists within all of us.
So it's not about some special quality that some people have and others don't.
Right. It's something we can all develop.
Through practice and awareness.
Exactly. It's like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes.
So as we wrap up our look at these amazing survival stories, I want to ask you, our listener, what resonated with you the most? What did you find most inspiring?
Yeah, what insights can you take away from these stories and apply to your own life, your own challenges?
Because while most of us will never be lost at sea or trapped in a canyon, the lessons these stories teach us about resilience, about hope, about the power of the human spirit, those are universal.
These stories are a powerful reminder that we are capable of so much more than we often realize. It's really humbling when you think about it. You know, the strength these people had, not just to survive, but to actually find those glimmers of hope, even in the darkest moments.
It's incredible, isn't it? They didn't just survive, they thrived.
Exactly. And it really highlights just how powerful the human spirit can be.
Which brings us back to that question we asked at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, what is it that allows people to overcome these seemingly impossible odds?
Because it's clearly more than just physical strength or knowing how to build a fire.
Right, it's something deeper than that.
Definitely. And I think what we've seen through these stories is that resilience is kind of a combination of things.
Like a recipe with a bunch of different ingredients.
Yeah, exactly. So you need that strong will to live, of course, but you also need to be able to harness the power of your mind.
Like we talked about visualization, hope finding a purpose,
Right, and then there's the importance of finding ways to regain control even when everything feels chaotic.
Like creating routines, focusing on those small victories.
Exactly. Those things can really help to ground you when you feel like you're losing your footing.
So if we had to boil it all down to one key takeaway, what would it be?
I think it would be this. Never underestimate the power of the human spirit.
Because inside each of us, there's this wellspring of resilience that we might not even know is there until we're really tested.
And that brings us to our final question for you, our listener.
What about you?
Yeah, if you were faced with a seemingly impossible challenge, what inner resources would you draw upon? What strength, maybe even hidden strengths, would you discover?
It's a good question to think about, because these stories remind us that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit has an amazing ability to shine through.
So remember the resilience of Aaron Ralston, Julian Kopec, and Jose Salvador Alvarenga. Let their stories inspire you and remind you that you are capable of incredible things.
And never give up hope. That's the ultimate lesson here. The human spirit can overcome almost anything. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into resilience.
Until next time, keep exploring the